clear takeoff 24, the wind is 240, less than 5.
Clear takeoff for Tourjet 179 Papa.
Okay, all set?
Set, yeah.
Okay.
Stabilize.
Select EPA.
Thrust set. 80 knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
Gear up.
Tourjet 179 Papa, contact control 12665, good day.
12665 for Tourjet 179 Papa.
Climb thrust.
Control, good morning, it's Tourjet 179 Papa with you passing 2000 for 5000.
Tourjet 179 Papa, no speed restriction, maintain 5,000 feet on reaching.
No speed and maintain 5000 on reaching, Tourjet 179 Papa.
Heading select. VNAV. Flat 5. And the map looks good. LNAV, please. Flat 1.
Speed good. That one selected.
Thousand to go.
That checks.
Flaps up.
Speed good. Flap up selected.
Manchester, Tourjet 179 Papa approaching 5000.
Tourjet 179 Papa, climb flight level 110, fly heading 360.
Recleared 110, heading 160 for Tourjet 179 Papa.
360 the heading.
360, heading north.
Heading 360 for Tourjet 179 Papa.
Okay. 360 the heading, please. And climb and VNAV, please.
VNAV you have. 110 you have.
You can release the cabin crew.
And setting 1013 my side.
1013. And the after takeoff checks, please.
Okay, after takeoff, landing gear is up and off, flaps are up, altimeters 10, 13, passing 6, sorry, 5, 4 now. After
Check.
takeoff checks are complete.
Tourjet 179 Papa, turn right heading 090.
Turn right 090 for Tourjet 179 Papa.
Heading select 090.
090.
Scene.
And engine out to 232.
And central to pilot command, please.
And center command you have.
So we're now in the cruise at 39,000 feet. Sure, you can see from some of the takeoff filming there that we were really pushed for time to make our air traffic slot departure out of Manchester. So it's really quite intensive in the initial, from the engine start, taxi out, initial climb, and climb up to cruise altitude. Things are happening quite rapidly. The 757 is typical of modern twin-engine aircraft in that it has a phenomenal climb capability on 2 engines. So we're climbing up through the levels very fast, a lot faster than you would do in a 4-engine aircraft in a similar situation. So we get up to cruise altitude fairly quickly. We had the odd break through air traffic holding us for other traffic, but we've got a fairly swift climb up to 39,000 feet. Earlier this morning, Dave and I were checking through the routing, and we've entered that earlier this morning in our flight management computers down here, and we're now heading off initially towards the Dutch coast. So we're heading towards Amsterdam at the moment. So we've crossed over the North Sea, close to the Dogger Bank, down towards Amsterdam. From here we'll then be heading off towards Frankfurt. That will then turn us towards the Austrian border, heading down a little south of Vienna. And then the routing now, which has become the common routing, is taking us down through the old Eastern European countries. In the past we would have routed over Yugoslavia, virtually the entire length of Yugoslavia going down to Turkey. Now we generally route through Austria, down through Hungary, Romania, into Bulgaria before crossing over the Turkish border, and then heading straight down through Turkey towards the southern coast at Dalaman. The weather conditions that we checked earlier, good weather all the way down to Dalaman, and it's a very pleasant morning in Dalaman. Nice and warm and generally clear, with just a light southerly wind blowing there at the moment. When the Boeing 757 was first designed by Boeing, it was designed as a direct replacement for the Boeing 727, which was a 3-engine, 3-crew aircraft. They wanted the 757 to be a 2-crew aircraft operating short-haul and medium-haul routes. So one of the requirements to change from a 3-crew to a 2-crew aircraft was to try and reduce the workload during abnormal operations. Part of that was achieved by installing modern EFIS, electronic flight instrument systems, onto the aircraft. The presentation as displayed by the EFIS is displayed on this aircraft between 2 instruments, the ADI, which we have here, and the HSI displayed below it. The ADI, which is now a completely electronic representation, will be recognized as many as basically an artificial horizon, which has been present on most aircraft for the last 40 years. We have a standby example over here of a basic horizon. And you can see, I think, if you look into the center of the instrument here, that we have exactly the same representation of a horizon in the middle of our ADI. So we've got our blue section representing the sky, the brown representing the ground, and superimposed on that we have an aircraft symbol. If I turn the flight director off, you'll be able to see the aircraft symbol more clearly. So we can see the wings of the aircraft, the dot in the center representing the nose of the aeroplane. So at the moment we're flying along with our wings level with the horizon, and the nose is actually about 2.5 degrees above the horizon, which is the normal cruising position on the 757. So basically, displayed on the ADI, we can display various amounts of information. In the past, with electromechanical instruments, there would have been a large number of pointers, failure flags, all displayed on the instrument. Any one of these could have failed or stuck in an unscheduled position, and we'd have ended up with an instrument requiring repair. On these electronic instruments, we don't suffer those type of failures, and these sort of instruments have been proven now to be certainly 7 times more reliable than conventional instruments, and as time goes by they get more reliable all the time. What they also allow you to do is they allow individual customers and airlines to specify their own presentations that can be presented on these instruments. So for example, here we have the ground speed indication up in the top left hand corner. So we can see at the moment we've got a ground speed of 450 knots. so that would be equivalent to just over 500 miles an hour. On the left-hand side here, we have a fast-slow indicator. So we can see our magenta bug is in the center of the scale, so it's showing us that the aircraft is flying at the demanded speed. Full scale on this fast-slow indicator would be 10 knots. So if we saw the magenta pointer move up alongside the F, we'd be flying 10 knots faster than our scheduled speed. Again, if we saw it slow down to abeam the S, we'd see we were flying 10 knots slow. Along the bottom on this instrument, we have a set of FMAs, flight mode annunciations, to tell us what is happening with the autopilot system or flight director system on the aircraft. Again, for various customers, they might display the FMAs on the top of the screen. They may have a speed tape displayed down the side of the screen, and that's purely a customer option. So we can display other information also on the ADI. We can display the flight director bars that we were showing a little earlier. I'll just turn those back on now. So we can see now our flight director bars displayed in the center of the screen. Normally we'd expect those flight director bars to be centered if we were actually flying the aircraft in the way the autopilot would wish it to be flown. We can also display other information. In this particular case, we can actually display our ILS information or instrument landing information, and I'll just turn that on now. You can see now that we've got two scales which have appeared. A horizontal one at the bottom, which represents the localizer, and a vertical one, which represents our glide slope or angle of approach into the airfield. If we were at a lower altitude and actually picking up the ILS system or an ILS receiver at the moment, pointers would appear. In this case, we're just displaying a localizer pointer at the moment, and a similar magenta pointer would appear on the glide slope scale. Normally in the cruise, we wouldn't want to display the ILS information. It's just basically a distraction here at the moment. So I'll just turn that information off again.